Good morning.
Morning.
So, I myself am a structural engineer, and it's fun to describe what you do for a profession. So, to try to make it very relatable, I thought about even your morning today. Well, civil engineers in general, we design the world around us, both physical and naturally built. So, our buildings and our roads, but they're often integrated with nature. Civil engineer comes from the word civilization. We're inherently designing and building things for civilization and society to use. There might be a little debate, but I argue it's the oldest profession. Maybe one of the two, but I argue it's the oldest. The Egyptians with their pyramids, the Romans with their aqueducts, all civil engineering. Now, civil engineering covers a lot of topics, very broad, and I'm going to try to help you get a sense of that this morning, where civil engineers work with water resources, transportation, geotechnical engineering, that's the soil, structural engineering, buildings, that's what I do, and construction, which civil engineers help coordinate, make it all get built. So to help you recognize what civil engineers do, we're going to go through our morning to get here. So you can recognize, oh, a civil engineer did that. But hopefully you don't think, oh, curse that civil engineer, and I know Corey's a civil engineer. So we all got up this morning, we brushed our teeth, and we hopped in the shower, we relieved ourselves of our faculties. Water, so we used water this morning. Civil engineers help design the water treatment plants and wastewater treatment plants. It's actually quite the miracle to have fresh, reliable, potable water at your home that's safe to drink and cook with. The neighborhood roads you would have driven on to leave your house. Some fun tidbits of facts. But you know, a lot of times they have sweeping kind of curves to them. Besides just looking nice, it's actually very intentional. The more of a curve a road has, the more people have to pay attention while they drive. You think, oh, a child might jump out from the side of the road. So you inherently, without even thinking about it, are going to drive slower. So it's a safer design for neighborhoods to keep people from just flying through, and then you don't need speed bumps, actually. The roads, once you get on the main roads and the highways, traffic lights. The timing and the sequencing of them is all designed by civil engineers. How long that yellow light is dependent on how fast you're traveling, to where once you see the yellow, you can safely stop for the light. Even the order that you go through the intersection is all designed to reduce crashes and the level of crash. So for instance, like roundabouts, everybody likes to roll their eyes about roundabouts. But actually always going right like that is a safer way to merge and leave traffic, because you're going to have more side impacts rather than a normal square intersection where you have frontal impacts. So less lethal accidents when they do occur. And then yes, 435, I know it's a long process, but that's actually a big feat of engineering and construction and planning that goes into it, even if it's an inconvenience for us. Safely navigating traffic from one side of the highway to the next as they work on this part of the highway and then the next side later. A lot of engineering goes into all of that. The bridge overpass. So you came from 435 and you got here on the Antioch exit. Bridge overpasses, that's structural engineering. They can, especially for roadways and highways that have to support semi-trucks, that's a significant amount of load and vibrating loads and things we just don't think about anymore. We take it for granted, and they make the news, obviously, when unfortunate accidents do happen, but a lot of engineering goes into that. The parking lot outside. Parking lots, believe it or not, are even done by civil engineers. The quantity of parking spaces out there is relative to the occupancy of the building that it's serving, so that you always ideally would have spaces for people based on the usage. Even the traffic flow patterns and all of the curves, and if you pull up to the front of a building to get in and out of the building, all planned by civil engineers. It's like a little mini road network in the parking lot. And then this building that we're in, this is what I get into. I'm a structural engineer, so it starts with the base. Underneath us, out of sight, out of mind, but really important, geotechnical engineers account for the soil properties that we have in the area, and they design a foundation so that the building won't settle, won't fall over. Hidden, like in that right there, the little pop out of the wall, there's a column going up in there, and that's the reason why the wall's popping up around it. They've hidden the column so it looks nicer, but once you start to realize the things that are in the building, you spot things like that. Inside there's beams that hold up the roof, floor system that holds us up. It's designed based on the occupancy, how many people we have in here. All structural engineering goes into it, having a safe environment for us. And yes, we have to work with architects and clients who might have crazy ideas and visions for what their buildings to do, and structural engineers have to pull our hair out to actually make it stand up. So, and to quickly touch on why I chose to be a structural engineer. Two main reasons, really. I've always been good at math, but I also just really enjoy like solving problems and solving puzzles of math problems. So there is a lot of math to engineering, I'm not gonna lie. Those courses get tough. Don't let that organize you and keep you away. But it's really satisfying to feel like you finished something up and checked it off. And then, why am I a civil structural engineer specifically? Why did I gravitate towards that type of engineering? Is really to help society and civil. It sounds a little corny, but I get a lot of satisfaction out of seeing a bridge or seeing a building that I designed, and I know it's helping people. Or like for instance, at Hewitt, I'm a structural engineer for power plants. So the things that I go into ultimately helps keep the lights on at your homes. So that's why I now hopefully, just thinking through your morning, you have a better idea what civil engineers might be, and know a little bit more about why I chose to be one. Thank you.